decisive victory for former President Trump in the New Hampshire Republican primary. Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley declaring our fight is not over as she vows to continue on to her home state of South Carolina.
And joining us from New Hampshire is my co-anchor Eva Pilgrim, and here in studio, ABC News' political director Rick Klein. It is good to see you again. Eva, thanks for being back with us. We appreciate it, and we miss you, friend. Let's talk about this. So you were at Nikki Haley's event last night. What was the mood there, and what were voters telling you?
Yeah, so we were there last night. There was definitely a boost of energy that we haven't seen at one of her campaign events to date. There definitely is a little bit of momentum that I feel like she has picked up here in New Hampshire. The question is it enough as she heads to her home state of South Carolina, where Donald Trump is really pulling quite ahead of her there? The thing that we heard from voters repeatedly here in New Hampshire, now that it's down to a two-man race, is it's about the candidates. They're choosing the person that they like, and they're thinking less about the issues. While the issues matter to them, it really has become about the character of these two candidates. DeMarco.
And Rick, I have to ask you, we saw that U-turn in tone from President Trump. His speech in Iowa seemed to be a bit more gracious, talking about his opponents in a bit of a softer way. This time he seemed angrier, almost incensed. His advisors seemed to be telling him, avoid talking about Nikki Haley, just go after Biden. He did the opposite.
Yeah, good luck if you're one of his advisors trying to tell him to change his tone. Look, this was Trump unleashed. And to my mind, this is a glimpse of what you get with him. This is what we've always known. The Haley campaign says they're happy with it because they think that's the contrast. They want to remind voters that this side of Donald Trump exists. They don't want Donald Trump to come across as this conciliatory figure who's happy and has people on all sides happy. They want to remind people that he's an attacker, that he's a fighter who often makes things very personal. Now, the flip side is it is going to be a brutal month for Nikki Haley. If she decides to stay in this, she is probably going to lose her home state of South Carolina unless something turns around fast, and she may lose it in a humiliating fashion. That was the message from Trump. If she decides to go on, it is game on in South Carolina.
So how are voters feeling? What are they thinking? You have some exit polling data for us.
Yeah, this was interesting. I think Eva's right that a lot of voters are thinking about people more than issues, but to the extent they're talking about issues, we saw most people talking about the economy. That was the biggest issue by far in the exit polls, and I think the second place on that, immigration. We saw that right behind there. And those are issues that Donald Trump talks about all the time. Foreign policy and abortion, those are Nikki Haley issues. They're a little bit lower down on the priority list. And I was really struck by this in the exit polls, the question about whether Trump is fit for office if he is convicted. On one level, you look at this and say 54% of Republicans say that's fine if he's convicted. But 4 in 10 say that he is not. And that's a problem for Donald Trump because there's a good chance he will be convicted by November. If that many Republican voters think he's not fit for office, that's what Nikki Haley wants to raise the alarms about. I
was going to say, I wonder if Nikki Haley can capitalize on that message. Eva, Nikki Haley heads to South Carolina, your shared home state. It is a steep climb for her. 538, our friends there are saying polling indicates that if she can't win in New Hampshire, it's going to be tough from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, her campaign is fully aware of that. And they keep reminding us that they have a month before the primary, and a month in the world of politics is a really long time. They do think that there is a path forward there for her to become the presidential nominee, which is why they keep marching on. In South Carolina, anyone can vote in the primary as long as they didn't vote in the Democratic primary. So those independents can vote in that primary. And here's the thing. We saw her do really well with independents here in New Hampshire. The thing she needs in South Carolina are for those traditional Republicans to vote for her. And when you look at her time in South Carolina, you know, we've mentioned it a few times. I'm a native South Carolinian. I know South Carolina well. She was really well thought of as a governor in South Carolina. The question is, who do those voters like more? Nikki Haley or Donald Trump? In Lexington County, the county where she held her very first seat, I was just there a few weeks ago. The Target, the Walmart, the grocery store, everywhere you went, there were Trump stickers, Trump hats, Trump flags. People like Donald Trump, and she's got to figure out a way to get those traditional voters to choose to vote for her and not the former president.
It's a challenge indeed.
Yeah, Eva, we couldn't think of a better person to give us insight in South Carolina. And of course, our political director, Rick Klein. We appreciate both of you and look forward to future coverage.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.